Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to make this video today because I posted something on Instagram the other day and I asked people what their biggest struggle in their business was, and a lot of people said the exact same thing, which was pretty crazy because this was a question on Instagram, so nobody could really see what everybody else was saying, and I didn't share the results or anything because I wanted to kind of see what people wanted me to talk about in my videos. So when I asked this question, a lot of people said that their biggest struggle in business right now was being broke. And that's probably, a struggle in general of people being broke. And I can totally relate. Back when I was in college and just graduated from college and decided to become an entrepreneur, it is a struggle that I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs go through. If you watch Shark Tank, you'll hear Mark Cuban talk a lot about how his lights were turned off and his cell phone was turned off, and a lot of people go through this struggle of being broke when you are trying to start a business and you're trying to work for yourself. So it is a very real thing, and a lot of people go through it, especially right now. Times are just really hard right now, and I don't want people to feel like they are alone or like they're the only person struggling, because they're definitely not. It is just a very uncertain time right now. So that's why I wanted to make this video and just kind of talk about a lot of experience from when I first started my business and decided to work for myself, and share some tips with you on how to stop being broke. Okay, so tip number one is to cut out an expense that is actually going to save you money. Now, I'm not talking about, stop buying your $5 coffees, or stop buying, something that you enjoy, or stop buying food. I think that's really ridiculous when people give that advice. Like, if I stop buying my coffee, then what? I'm not allowed to have coffee, or I'm going to have to go then and buy a coffee maker and coffee at home. And, you're kind of giving up one expense and creating another one. So, if your coffee is your thing that you enjoy, absolutely buy your coffee. What I mean is, you need to find an expense to cut out that is actually going to save you a substantial amount of money. For example, when I first started, I purchased a car in cash. It was an older car, paid a couple $1,000s for it, but this completely eliminated me having a car payment. So that helped so much, not having to pay $200 to $400 a month for a car payment. And then because it was an older car, the insurance on it was cheaper, so that cut down another expense. So, you have to just kind of evaluate your situation and figure out what you can cut out that is actually going to save you a substantial amount of money. And, you can either save that money, or you can use it to start a business or start a side hustle that is going to grow your income. So that brings me to my next tip, which is to find a side hustle or multiple. And you're going to have to figure out, what you're good at in terms of what your side hustle can be. That's why I make a lot of videos about Poshmark. When I was in college, I had 2 jobs. I would work at a doctor's office in the morning, and then I would go to class, and then I would go and work at a restaurant that opened at 4:30. So it just kind of worked out with my schedule that way. So I would also do social media. I worked for a nonprofit doing their social media. That was something that I could do remotely and kind of on my own time. And then I also worked in a boutique part of college. I had many jobs throughout college. So you have to kind of find your side hustle. So while I was working these jobs, like working remotely for the nonprofit doing their social media was kind of a side hustle for me. It was part-time, and it was something that I wasn't really on a set schedule for, but that I could generate an income doing. And then while I was working in the boutique, I was the only person who worked there. I ran the storefront by myself, and I would make jewelry and put it for sale in the boutique. And then that is sort of what led me into selling items online, because I started making the jewelry and selling it in the boutique. And then I just kind of took the plunge one day and started putting stuff online to see if people would buy it, and they did. And that's how I started selling items online. So you can see how, you know, side hustles kind of evolve and they can turn into multiple streams of income for you. So it's very, very important that you find a side hustle that you are good at, because you need something that you can kind of do on your own schedule, especially if you still have a 9-to-5 job, or, you know, multiple jobs, or if you're in college and you're doing school. You have to find something that generates income that you can do on your own time, that you are not, you know, that's not interfering with your schedule or whatever else you have to do. And, you know, that's kind of why I started selling on Poshmark in college, is because it wasn't something, you know, that I had to devote a certain amount of time to. I could kind of do it at my own pace, and that way, you know, I just kind of had that money sitting there. And then that's going to bring me into my next tip for you, which is to build an emergency fund. So you have to figure out what your side hustle is, and you have to use your side hustle to start building your emergency fund. If you watch Dave Ramsey, he talks a lot about this. I don't agree with everything that Dave Ramsey says, but this is one thing that I feel is very important for you to have an emergency fund in case something goes wrong, if somebody gets sick, in case you need money for something, in case you need, you know, car repairs. Literally anything can happen, but you need to have at least $1,000 in an emergency fund. A lot of people recommend you having, you know, 3 months of living expenses in an emergency fund, and I realize that can be a lot of money. So, you know, don't stress yourself out, but, you know, make your first goal to get to $1,000, to have $1,000 in an emergency fund in case you need it, because it's just very, very important that you are not, you know, living this paycheck to paycheck life to where you are broke. And then, you know, in my opinion, there are different kinds of being broke. There's, you know, you can be broke in terms of you literally don't have any money, or you can be broke in terms of you've paid all your bills and now you don't have anything left over to save or to, you know, go on vacation or do anything like that. That is also a form of being broke. So, you know, you want to start building a cushion for yourself to where you're not living income to income, paycheck to paycheck. You have to have some sort of cushion. And then once you build that cushion, you will literally feel like a weight has been lifted off of your chest, to where, you know, if something happens, you have money there. And, you know, you have money there. You won't have to resort to using credit cards or going into debt or anything like that. You need to have that cushion there, and you need to make it a priority to build upon that. So my next tip is that you need to find some sort of passive income. You need to find a source of passive income. You need to find something that you can do that will make you money without you having to, you know, actively do anything. And you will have to actively do something at first, but there are things you can do that you can kind of set in motion, and you do the work once, and then it makes money for you. You have to have at least one source of passive income. You know, there's all different kinds of things that you can do if you're interested in that. I have created a Facebook group I wanted to do this kind of like a focus group for the new year. But it's called Full-Time Freedom. So I'm going to be talking about tips to save money, tips to make money, side hustle tips, things like that. I will link it down in the description box and in the comments, but I would love to have you in the Facebook group. I think it's going to be just a great topic for the new year. I actually created this a while back, but I felt like it wasn't really the right time, and then 2020 happened. So I feel like this is very much the right time, and I feel like a lot of people are looking for, you know, sources of income and wanting to start businesses. So that is what I wanted to kind of create for you guys. So definitely join the Facebook group down below. I've also created a new Instagram account for it. It is Sydney L Biz. I'll put it here on the screen. So if you are on Instagram, definitely go give it a follow. I will be posting some content on there as well. So, and this kind of goes into, you know, finding side hustles. Passive income is a, you know, type of side hustle, but it's a very unique type of side hustle. So I did want to make a point of, you know, focusing on that as a tip, because you've got to find something essentially that will make you money while you sleep. So and I will be talking about that more in the Facebook group. Okay, so my last tip for you kind of goes into saving money, but you need to actively teach yourself how to not spend as much money. So you need to, for example, I know there are certain things at certain grocery stores that I can get exponentially cheaper than at other stores. I try to avoid Walmart at all costs. I love Walmart. They just have very high prices. I tend to shop mostly at Aldi. For example, I know I can go into Aldi and get a gallon of milk for $1.35, whereas that same gallon of milk at Walmart is $4 to $5. So, you know, just little things like that completely adds up, especially on things that you are buying every single week. Like a dozen eggs at Aldi is 50 cents. I love Aldi. Aldi is my favorite grocery store to go to. I've never bought anything from there that I was not happy with the quality. They have amazing prices, and that is where I try to do the bulk of my grocery shopping. If there is something that I need that they don't have, then I will go to like Walmart or Harris Teeter. But you have to kind of educate yourself on how to shop and how to save money on your everyday expenses. When I was in college, I used to be a hardcore couponer. I would coupon for everything. I had a friend who had a newspaper route, and she would always have leftover newspapers, and so she would bring those to me and give them to me so that I could get the coupons out of them. And I did that a lot in college to save money. I still do coupon. I don't do it as much just because I've kind of learned how to grocery shop and shop for other things without coupons, but there are certain things like makeup and more expensive stuff that I will go online and look for coupons for. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you in terms of, you know, kind of getting into the mindset of starting to save money and build money. You just really have to get out of the broke mindset, so to speak. But definitely don't forget to join the Facebook group, follow me on Instagram. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one.